Welcome back to another fantasy video with me, JD. You're joining me for the round 7 review. We're gonna blast through this one pretty quickly. So we had I thought it was like gonna be an okay week without being great, but I actually went down 700 spots. I must have been pretty bad at 2014 overall. Obviously, Marshall here instead of Gorn was a pretty big deal because even though I got my captain right, I mean 122 was my second highest score for the week. Gorn beat that out by 10, was it? How much did you beat it by, buddy? 12 plus, what was that? That was 134. So then another 61 on top of that, on top of Roy Marshall. So that's 73 points alone. I guess it probably explains most of the loss of the week. Like, extra 73 points will probably go up rather than down. So, Marshall, you will be the death of me, bud. So just flying through the rest of the team here. A lot of 98s. A lot of 98s. I think we're going to title the video 98 to Infinity, which is this old hip-hop song from the 90s. So yeah, LDU, Butters, day cost 98. Loved the number this week. A little bit cursed. Whatever. Sheasel, the move forward didn't really eventuate. He did play like more middle, half forward in the second half, but yeah, like still a lot of half back and a lot of cheap ball against the Saints. He should cook this week. Vice captain, captain option for sure. Lockie Whitfield continues to be just good at football. We like Whitfield. Some tough matchups here. A tougher matchup, but yeah, we're fine with him. Yeah, Dacos. Look, definitely still playing more midfield than halfback, and you can see that affecting his scoring. Just because he's not getting as much of the cheap stuff, so he's still a good option, and I think he must be getting close to like the bottom of his cycle now that 61's dropping off. I guess after this week, but like not urgent. But for those looking for an upgrade that don't have him, I think obviously a good option. Young, good. Elliot Yo was phenomenal, but not translating into massive fantasy scoring. It's actually his second lowest score for the year, despite playing a really, really good game. So, I mean, Essendon this week, Collingwood the week after, there's probably fine matchups to hold. But if you didn't have as many problems as I did, you might be considering moving him on soon. Massimo ended up being handy, so holding him. My trades were Fisher and Sanders for Garcia and Dawson. But yeah, like just to take Blake Howe's 80. So yeah, I don't know if he comes back. I still actually have faith that he can kind of score well if given the role, but it just looks less likely that they're going to give him the role. Steele is a worry. Second poor score in a row. Knees look strapped. It's a long way from this like 5-1, 120s, 108s. This is hard 2 weeks in a row to have a look at. Dawson looks back, so that's good. I mean, not that he was ever really gone in this format, but yeah, 122 captain there. Port this matchup this week, which is a bit tougher, but they don't have Rosie, so I guess that's probably a good thing. And it should be a good thing for Butters, who had a 98, which is, yeah, like, okay. Second subton for the year. He's otherwise been good. I'm looking for some ceiling scores from him, though. If you don't have him, I think he's still a reasonable target, especially with his bye. Nick Martin continues to be good, had another good game. Great goal towards the end of that one. LDU is allergic to tunning up. He's done it once with a 104 and then 90s and 70s. It's just gross. I don't like this pick. He's not doing very well. That midfield's getting smashed. It's just bad. Rookies here. So yeah, Roberts is good. Closey and Graham. Graham had probably his best game so far of the four that he's played. Although this 104 was there. So you know, but yeah, he's good. He's making nice money. Both of them are. Sharp looks like he might have capped out. It's a little bit unfortunate because he worked really hard but just did not get used. So I don't know why this is not loading now. So I could definitely still see bigger scores coming for him, and I think his break even's only a little bit over what he's priced at. But the hundred's not far away from rolling off, and yeah, the hundred's not far away from rolling off, and he's obviously one of the more pricey guys. So if you can move him on this week, I think it might make sense. Reed, it's great to have him back. Yeah, Marshall, can you please outscore Gorn or just like do anything? This is so frustrating. Holy moly! Even if it got Sweet, like Sweet cooked you, didn't he? What did he? What did Sweet get? Should have just had Sweet on. Why won't it show me the rucks? Is that not how he's... Why can't I see him? Okay, interesting. Yeah, Heaney and Flanders were both good. Heaney got rested after copying like an ankle knock in the second half of that game, but it doesn't sound like it's really anything to worry about. Powell is a concern now that he got moved forward. I'm honestly just hoping that Phillips gets dropped and they give him more midfield time because this is not good. This is really not good. I think if you're in a position where you don't have anything else to do this week, you consider moving Powell on. I've got probably enough other issues that I'd probably just hold and risk, but yeah, this is not good. Dempsey looks like he may have capped out as well. A couple of poor games now. A little bit like Sharp, where he had a very, very good first quarter. He looked like he was going to go another 80 or 90 this week. And then they just didn't use his side of the ground for the rest of the game. So, like, painful. Painful, because I like really needed a big score from him. Because I stuffed up all my rookies this week. Oh, it was bad. Like, benching Thomas and Biggie, and then fielding Garcia and Dempsey, like, big points loss. Wilson was good. Yeah, very impressed by him and very fieldable this week against North. And then Garcia, I think there's a chance he gets dropped, but with Higgins getting suspended for 3 weeks, maybe he holds one more. And against, these two soft matchups in North and Hawks, I hope that he holds just so he can get some points on the board. Cadman, it's probably time to go for him. Like, I think his break even's not terrible, but it's up there. I want to say it's 50. So look, if you have to hold him this week just because you got other things going on, so be it, and just give him one more chance to spike a good score. But against the Swans, I'm not very optimistic that happens. Harvey Thomas is being good. He's been very good. I'm very impressed by him. Him and Darcy Jones did great this week, holding down for no Daniels, no Green. And then Biggie, I don't know, he still hasn't been playing that good. So I think there's a chance he gets dropped when Dawson's back. But Saints matchup this week hopefully gets another big score and gets close to the 400k mark at least anyway. I think he's probably fieldable against Saints this week. All right, so moving on to round 8, what are we going to do here? At the moment, I have these trades locked in. So Dempsey and Sharp out for Sweet and Bonampelli. Now, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to go with this, but I'm a little bit short of money to do good things. So we'll set up here with Sweet on the emergency, and I can always like loophole him on for one of Cherry or Marshall. Oh, they're playing each other. That's pretty painful to pick which one to go with. Otherwise, I can use Barnett to loop one of Thomas, like Thomas on Finuon, which is a possibility as well. Massimo, we're gonna bench. If he plays, I probably still bench him, but it'd almost be better if he doesn't play, just so I can like loop on like a Howes score for Roberts, and then maybe play like a Roberts over one of these guys in the midfield, something like that is what we'll be looking at. Vice captain, I mean, Sheasel against the Saints, I think probably makes sense as a VC or C. If you got Gorn, he's a good option. I'm like maybe Dawson's my VC against, or like Butters is my VC against. That side. Otherwise, there's not a like ton that I saw in terms of matchups I really like. I mean, I don't really trust Dacos. Who are they playing? Carlton, no way. Yeah, this is like a tough one this week. All right. So why am I going Bont? Because he's not really a great option. I don't really have that much money. So I am 2k off getting in like a Tom Green or a Goulden. What I would ideally go is probably a Sarong this week at 957k. I think that's pretty good value. Especially like into the Tiger matchup or Merit. I just don't have a way of getting there. Like I could trade out Massimo over Dempsey and hold Dempsey. Dempsey's break even's pretty bad though. I want to say it's like near 80. So the extra 13k would get me to 953. If it got me to 957, I'd probably do it for Sarong. But I don't know if I'd do that for a Green or a Goulden. It's like very tough call. Because yeah, even though Goulden's like found a bit of form, these matchups, GWS, Freo, Carlton, and then early buy, like I don't love that. And Green is another one with the early buy as well. So I don't really like, I want to trade into these guys after their buy rather than getting them now, I think ideally. So I'm probably missing on both of those. Yeah. And getting Bont. Even though Bont's still got a reasonably high break even, these next two are like good matchups. Got the late buy. He hasn't really found form to start the year though, which is the worry. Definitely the worry here. Outside of this one game against the Cats, has not looked particularly good in any of these. Otherwise, I think the other option would be like if I was to hold some of these, I could go like a Cadman out with a Dempsey or a Sharp or a Massimo and get in McRae. I'm not sure if I want McRae. Like he put up a 90, which is a good score, but I feel like he junked a lot of that late, a lot of uncontested stuff. This fixture with Hawks and Richmond are good, but it's just as good for Bont. So I almost feel like I want to wait another week with McRae to see what he's like when Liver's back, rather than going on him now. Sweet is the obvious rookie target this week for those that don't have him. For those that do have him, I think it's a little bit trickier. Let's see if we can find some. We'll sort by break even though I don't have gold. That's pretty handy. I'm going to assume that these are right. Maybe I need to look more than that as well. No, that can't be right, can it? That break even looks wrong now. It might be. All right. So, oh, it's looking at midfielder. That's why. I'm like, isn't it missing a whole bunch of people? It is. All right. So, if you already have Sweet, what are the other downgrade options this week? I think like Darcy Jones is obviously the one that I'd be most high on. But like his job security is probably a little bit sus this week with Green and Daniels potentially a chance to come back. He could be a sub. Do they play late? They play reasonably early, so I guess you could see if he's a sub and then make your trades after that. Where Woden had a good score and was actually pretty impressive, you can see it has not been a great start to the year for him. This is a scary photo. He looked good though. I think he was playing more like halfback, almost taking Salem's role, it felt like at times. So I need to check the injury report, see how far away they are. And this fixture run here is not particularly good, but he looks good in this role, honestly. So I think he's decent. Hardman played halfback, scored a 54. I don't know what his job security is like, but the St Kilda matchups are positive. So if he's playing, maybe that's one you can consider. And then Cooper Simpson's really the only other one. I don't think he scored particularly well. Yeah, just the 28. He came on as the sub, but played well in the last quarter. If he was getting full games, I guess you could consider. But is it Switkowski that's coming back this week and someone else, which I think knocks him and Voss out. So I don't think he'll get another game, even though he probably did enough to earn it. If McAuliffe comes back for Hopper, I guess you could consider him as well just because he's cheap, but I don't particularly love it as an option. And then Rogers was good. He probably should continue to get games, but he's like fantasy wasn't big, even though he had a very good game. So I don't know. That's probably a danger sign here. Maybe he's not a pick. So yeah, I think if it's maybe Jones or Woden is who I'd be looking at of these, or a debutant, whoever that could be. Laurie had a good game by the way as a sub as well, but he's fringe for the D, so I don't think I'd be looking there. He also wouldn't have particularly good break even. So yeah, so I think it's Jones if he plays a game with Woden, or yeah, debutant. I think those are probably your three options. Now, just quickly, before I tune out, because there's really not much else to talk about. There's one thing I did want to share, which was I think last year I spoke about it, at least when I did videos, or at least I have spoken about it in the Discord, is that being 1 week ahead is really important. And I knew that like having only ever played ahead, because in all my seasons I've basically always been ahead of the curve and the trend, and all of my trades kind of felt like I was one step ahead of everyone else, either bringing in someone or trading someone out. And this year, I'm definitely like one step behind or with the pack, and you can massively feel it because if I'd got Garcia a week before, then last week I would have got Sweet already, which means I could have done something else this week. But instead, I'm like getting in Sweet while other people may can get the next hot rookie. And similarly, like I'm trading in guys or trading out guys that someone that was ahead of the curve might have been moving on last week. Like I think you could have reasonably moved on Dempsey last week if you were in a position to. You could have reasonably moved on Sharp last week if you're in a position to. I mean, maybe you wouldn't have with Sharp, but like it's not out of the realm of possibility. And last week instead, like I'm moving on guys like Fisher and Sanders. Like this is 1 week. These are 1 week behind. This is 1 week behind. Dawson was probably right on time, so that's fine. But yeah, like I now this week I'm moving on Dempsey and Sharp, getting in Sweet. These three trades might have all been done, or at least this first trade here might have been done exactly by someone last week. So instead of doing this trade, they're doing something like moving Powell on to McRae, or they're moving Marshall out to another midfield premium, and they're fielding Sweet and Cherry. So it's it's just something I wanted to point out because in fantasy, like being 1 week ahead, this concept, this is exactly how it plays out. And each week that you're behind and so other people are ahead, it's like easy 50 points a week. Like probably 30 to 50 points a week they gain on you from being ahead and being one. And it just snowballs each week up until the buys when your team's basically done. So we've got another 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks where they just get 30 to 50 points a week on me for free. So I'm going to be like, I wouldn't be surprised if like behind the leader, and I haven't even seen how far behind the actual leader I am. There's no point checking. What's total points? I'm already 500-ish. I wouldn't be surprised if I had another 3 to 500 on my head by the time we got to the end of the buys. I really wouldn't. My value's the same as this team, which is crazy. How bad is the value? What are the top guys at? Let's have a quick look. Please sort. Website, please do. Oh wow, 600k, 700k. That is so far behind. And once again, when you're behind, some of these guys I'm trading out are losing money, whereas someone's already traded them out in someone that's now gaining money. It's just so bad to be this far behind. It really is. Where's DT Lemon, my boy? Can't see him in here. He might be holding with a bunch in the bank, which is why he's not in this top figure. Oh, there he is. Did he have a good week? This is showing my ranking, right? Like, that's probably his. That's his score, because it's not my score. So he didn't have a particularly good week, which is a shame. The problem with holding money is you've got to be able to convert it into points at some point. And like this is like classic issue here. Fielded Grundy was the worst of these ones, so that's not good. And you've got like 1.2 mil, or actually it's 1.3 mil sitting on the bench here. You didn't get points for. I did get Wilson's score. Oh, you got Finbar Malley as his loophole, but wasn't able to use it. I guess this is weird. This looks very weird to me. Same problem with Powell. Same problem with Fielding, Garcia, and Dempsey as me. Got Wilson's score, which is good. Which I think like exactly my forward line, which struggled. So he had a 72 there, which beats out, I guess, like Gorn and Grundy beat out my Marshall and Cherry for points, and he got Gorn C, which is good. In the mids, had the Rosie injury, which is painful. He probably just holds. That's like tricky because that's normally a trade. I think Clark put up another good score. This is all fine. Still hold, but yeah, like lots of money here, but you got to start trading out into points. Need to start getting the big dog mids. Stop worrying about value. Okay. Anyway, that was the last thought about getting 1 week ahead. It's very important, and hopefully this like makes sense, showing how it plays out, because that's what you're aiming for. You want to be 1 week ahead in fantasy, and it should feel like each week you're taking a risky trade that no one else is doing, and that's because you're 1 week ahead. But every week, I feel like I'm doing the same trades as everyone else, or like similar, or like the suboptimal. Like I don't want to get to Bont, I want to get to Sarong, but I am 20k short, or 20k short. And why? It's because I'm a week behind. If I'd been a week ahead and I'd, getting on Jordan Sweet 50k cheaper than what he is, 45k cheaper than what he is, then guess what? I've got the 45k to get a Sarong. This is how you get behind, and it just snowballs because I've got less money, less points, less good players on field. It's just bad. So yeah, sorry, a little bit of a rant to finish the week, but hopefully you learn something about like why momentum and upgrade cadence is so important, because this is what bad looks like. Anyways, that's all the thoughts for this week. Thanks for viewing. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.